Hello, and welcome to the 52nd and final episode in the Jerky Time series. When I set out on this journey 2 years ago, I started with a book of marinade that had 52 recipes in it, and I thought I would make one every 2 weeks until we came to the end, and I have done that. Although I only made 51 of the recipes in the cookbook, and I wanted to explain why I excluded one of the marinades. There was one that involved soaking the meat in a bowl of mostly oil overnight, and I wasn't down for that. So I did not make that one particular recipe, but I did make the 51 other ones, as you can see in my playlist. So I wasn't sure we would have episode number 52 until a couple of weeks ago, when I had delivered to me from a friend of mine who is Native American and a huntress, about 3 to 4 pounds of venison.
Mother!
That's right. The meat this week is deer meat. And what I'm doing is I'm taking this batch of meat, and then I'm selecting my favorite recipe from the previous 51, and then we're going to make this particular batch, and that will be the end. Now, there's a little bit of pre-treatment we need to do in the preparation for the venison. Because it's fresh, there's a tendency for there to be some gaminess in the meat. And so the first thing we're going to do is perform a little procedure on it. This will be the first night. It's actually going to take us 3 days to make this. Normally it takes us 2 days. So our jerky journey in this instance is starting on a Thursday night, and we're going to take this jerky and we're going to soak it in milk overnight. Now, I didn't know this about deer meat and how to handle it, but I did some research on it, and they said milk or buttermilk. I don't particularly care for buttermilk, so I soaked it in milk, and apparently there are some, fatty acids or other properties within milk that will absorb the blood and the toxicity, gaminess out of the deer meat. So we're going to soak this deer meat in a bowl of milk in the fridge overnight. All right, now that we have soaked the deer meat overnight in the milk, we're going to go ahead and start prepping it. Now, one of the things that's different about deer meat than around our regular eye-round roast that we use is there's a lot more connecting tissue in it. Deer is wild meat. It is out there living its best life, and it is just different. It's the amount of meat, the amount of tendons and gristle in it. It's a lot more. So we didn't want to do this with our meat slicer, so we're going to cut this all by hand, clean it up all by hand. Let's go ahead and do that now. All right, now that the meat's all cut up, ready to go, and cleaned up, we're going to go ahead and make the marinade. We are selecting this marinade as our favorite from the previous 51. This is home-style jerky. Now, I did put the amount of deer meat we had on a scale because I wanted to get a good idea of what it was. It looked like we had about 3 pounds, and so I made the marinade for 3 pounds of meat. So per pound of meat, the marinade is 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 3/4 teaspoon of Tabasco sauce, and 1/2 teaspoon of hickory salt. So we're going to triple those ingredients, and we're going to go ahead and add them to the marinade. Then we're going to give it a good mix. All right, once that's mixed up, let's go ahead and add it to the meat. We'll cover it up, and we'll go ahead and put it in the fridge and let that marinate overnight. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Let's get it on the dehydrator then. All right, it's Sunday morning. I know, I'm wearing the same shirt. I'm really not. I'm narrating this on Sunday. It's Sunday morning. Let's go ahead and we're going to drain the liquid off of the meat. And we're going to go ahead and start getting it on the dehydrator. All right, let's get started. All right, there we have it. We got 4 good trays out of this. Based on the weight, I thought I was going to actually have way more, but I think the deer meat is so moist and, again, it's full of, stuff, blood and other stuff, that it weighed a little more than the beef that I usually cut does. So a little extra weight to that, but the marinade is done. It's on the dehydrator. I guess we'll see you back here in a few hours, see how it turns out. All right, it's been a few hours. Let's go ahead and give a look at this and rotate the trays if we need to. All right, so one of the things about this meat is it's very, very moist. And it's probably going to take a little bit extra time to dehydrate, so it's pretty close in some instances. I think at least another hour or maybe more is needed. So I guess we'll see you back in a little bit. All right, looks like we may have some of this done. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Pretty excited. A little nervous too. I hope I didn't ruin this. We'll find out right now. All right, venison, home-style jerky. Tender, really tender. Oh my goodness. That is so good. So good. Better than any of the beef I've ever made. And I'll tell you, with the best marinade I made, hands down, 10 out of 10. Best batch we've made so far. Got a little kick to it at the end with the Tabasco. Loving it. Loving it. What a great way to end the series. There you have it. 52 episodes of Jerky Time in the books. I have some other plans for doing some dehydration work. You'll see that coming up. In the meantime, I wish you well. Thanks for stopping by and all the subs and everything. I wish you the best life. I'm living it. Bye now.